Hey, yo, it's me, LilBigMan, bringing you a review for The Flash. Season 8, Episode 7 called Lockdown. Now, this was a good episode. It's always cool. I love the actor who played Ghostface. Goldface. And, wow, my brain's everywhere. Yeah, Goldface. I love him and oh man, I can't remember his girlfriend. They always a lovely duo, villain duo. But let me give you a synopsis of what this episode was about. When criminal invades CCPD, Barry and Kramer must trust each other and rely on each other if they are going to make it out safely. Caitlin learns a valuable lesson while out with Snow and Mark. So, did not really like get into like what the second half main villain is going to be, but it did do something, and put in some in character development. Basically, this episode was mostly about they used Goldface here to Aminette. That's her name. They used Ghostface and Goldface and Aminette. I'm thinking about Scream. I don't know why I got Scream on my mind. Because you know what? One of my reactions is to Corey, and I was thinking about David Arquette, but that more on that later in that video. But yeah, so this episode basically has to deal with Barry and Kramer becoming, because since he's the new captain of the precinct, he really has to learn how to trust her, and he really doesn't trust her. And Kramer, her predicament in this episode, other than Goldface, is that she wants a direct line to the Flash. Because she doesn't have a problem with the Flash saving the day and bringing in criminals. She has a problem with him not communicating with them, and she says that I just would wish that he would I have a direct line so I could know what they did, what crime did they commit, so it'd be easier to book them instead of having to play catch up. So she uses that as an excuse, but we later find out in the episode there was a real reason why. But I won't tell you. But this episode opens up with a funny little opener with Chester basically monitoring crime activity and stuff. Allegra also makes an appearance because he wants to take a lunch break. But he's scared to. He think anything can happen at any moment. He needs to be on the comms and ready to go in case something does happen. But Allegra shows up with food and does bing bang booms. Or something does happen, but the Flash is on it. And since he leveled up, which they'll keep saying in this episode, he's basically he got 3 crimes happening at once. I think one was a mugging, a carjacking, and a robbery. It was two different robberies and a carjacking, and he was able to stop them all 3 at the same time because he's that fast now. And so I'm guessing that when the Flash undid everything the Reverse Flash did, it also undid Black Lightning zapping him of his speed. So I'm guessing he's back to full speed now. So basically, from there, we transition to this whole ordeal with him. Joe giving him some sage advice about him and Cecile giving him advice about why it might be a good idea to give Kramer a direct line. The sub story here is Caitlin finally opening herself up to being on a date, and she going on a date with this guy named Marcus. They book a reservation at this restaurant that's hard to get reservations to, only to find out that Caitlin accidentally booked the reservation for next year. So they end up going to this bar, but but who do you have there? You have Killer or Frost and Mark on their date. And throughout the episode, it was taught. She was telling Allegra and Chester how they keep sending her these pictures of them having these extravagant days, going skydiving and doing all this other stuff. And this will come into play here, where the date they want, Caitlin, Frost is like, oh hey Caitlin, you're here with your date, I'm here with Mark, let's do this whole double date thing, and it kind of don't go too well. But Caitlin does learn a lesson that if you haven't seen the episode, you will see that she does learn a lesson from her. I just say I give you one here. She kind of explodes on somebody, and in a way where somebody has to give her a heart to heart about what's truly her issue and what's truly wrong. Barry, the same thing for Barry. Barry learns that it might be a good thing to give Kramer a direct line after they have to go through having a conversation with her. All of a sudden they get the CCPD gets invaded by Goldface. This time I'm not gonna say Goldface, and he's after the metahuman bullets, or I think the metahuman bullets and gun. I don't know. It was something like that, and this whole he's been sent there by Amunet, because Amunet's the one who gave him the idea. They got metahuman dapping cuffs on because of Kramer outing herself as a metahuman, and the fact that she's the captain of the CCPD and she's a metahuman. Which, by the way, they officially said that's officially. I don't know how it was official before, but I think they already did that. It was official that her powers is mimic. But yeah, he said because he doesn't want to take no chances, he gave everybody at the CCPD, even Barry, metahuman adapting, because with explosive, if you even try to tamper with it, it will explode, or he'll activate this device on his belt and make it explode. They also bring up the season 4 episode with Ralph, where Barry was pretended to be the chemist, and he actually did. Goldface recognized and was like, "Wait a minute, you're that guy, the chemist who screwed me out of that organ printer." So there's this funny little back and forth. You get to hear how him and Amunet's relationship is going. Kramer and Barry basically have a heart to heart, and Barry realized after the whole ordeal that maybe maybe Jonah was right. So he does give her a direct line. Something does happen with a secret identity, and there's a cliffhanger where Iris, who Iris only comes at the end of this episode, where something's going on with her time sickness. Overall, this episode of The Flash was okay. It was okay. I'm not gonna say I didn't enjoy it. I give it 7 out of 10 big ups, because it was a fun episode. It did entertain me for what it's worth. Had I liked it to have some more of the little who's more the second half big bad, or from what I'm hearing, it's going to be 2 big bads in the second half. Somehow they're going to do that, pull it out. I don't know, but yeah, I would have loved that to happen. Yeah, I would, but for what we got, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. But next episode cannot be like this, though. They got to give me something, because we can't have another episode where it just feel like a filler. I want episode, but this was episode 7, so I want episode 8 to be actually, let's get into it. What's going to be this next story? This next chapter or whatever they're calling it. But you let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this episode of The Flash. And if you enjoyed this review, all you gotta do is hit this button right there in the upper right corner for all of my reviews. And if you enjoyed this video so much you want to support the channel, all you gotta do is hit that like, subscribe, share, and hit that notification button. Do all those great things, because it helps me bring you more content like this. And hit any one of these videos for more of my amazing content, but don't go anywhere, because I got some reactions coming your way. Peace.